Hey everyone, Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Wu-Tang Clan member tier list. Let's do this quickly and efficiently so not too many feelings get hurt. Okay? Starting with the RZA, a man whose impact, significance, and importance within the clan really cannot be overestimated. He's pretty much the head of the goddamn serpent. It was his production that was, pretty much bringing the Wu-Tang, their sound, their vibe, their aesthetic. Plus, the guy has shown an incredible amount of versatility and creativity outside of the context of the Wu-Tang Clan too, not only producing for a wide array of artists, let's also not forget all of his soundtrack work. Now, it is true he doesn't have the strongest solo catalog or anything like that, but he really is like the keystone of the group. And once more, I don't think his significance within Wu-Tang can really be overstated. RZA is going to go in the S row. Okay, next on the list, we have the man, the legend himself, Mr. ODB. Now look, anybody familiar with their share of Wu-Tang Clan songs, albums, solo records too, knows that ODB, technically speaking, may not be the strongest lyricist in the group, and due to his untimely demise, combined with a lot of personal problems and struggles that he was dealing with at the time of Wu-Tang's popularity, he doesn't have the strongest or lengthiest solo catalog either. But what records we did get from ODB were incredible, and yes, even the second one, which I think is highly groundbreaking, ahead of its time, and creative. It was said that there was no father to his style, and that is absolutely positively the case. So, even if there are some shortcomings in terms of the solo catalog or his pen game in comparison with other members like Raekwon, for example, ODB is still very, 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 very firmly in the A row for me. Incredible artist and rapper. I think one of the best New York rappers of all time in terms of personality, charisma, presentation, unique flow and delivery. The guy was truly something else, and something that we're most likely not going to see again in this lifetime. All right, next we have another beloved member of the group, Method Man. Method Man is a rapper on the Wu-Tang roster who a lot of people have strong feelings on, and I can understand why. He has a standout voice and personality. He is also quite handsome. He has contributed some of the best songs and lyrics to the Wu-Tang catalog overall, and the song Method Man alone just proves how creative his pen game is in terms of various reference points and his ability to mash them all together in a way that is electrifying, that is fun, that is memorable and infectious. He also just has this very exuberant delivery that I think gets people really whipped up and ready to have a good time. And when he does bring that to some Wu-Tang tracks, I love it. Do I love it as much as other things the group has to offer as well? Maybe not, which is why for the most part when I hear Method Man, I typically think it's very good, but not necessarily like mind-blowing per se. And when it comes to the solo catalog, I'm not quite as crazy. I mean, like, Tikal is cool, but like, does it rank in a top 5 of Wu-Tang solo albums of all time for me? Not necessarily. So I could put Method Man in the B row. I think he's good. He's well above average within the group, and I think a very highly necessary member in the roster. Okay, who do we have next? It's it's Tony Stark himself, the Iron Man, Ghostface Killah. He's like pretty much every element that you would want in a rapper that would fit within the Wu-Tang paradigm. All those elements turned up to 10. The bars, the delivery, the lyricism, the sense of humor. He's badass, he's witty, he has a workhorse type drive, which is indicated by his very lengthy and, for the most part, very high quality catalog. I mean, are there duds in the Ghostface discog? Yes, there most certainly are. But like, the ratio of bop to flops is much better than in really all of the other respective Wu-Tang member solo catalogs. Iron Man is great. Supreme Clientele is great. The Pretty Tony album is very good. Fish Scale is freaking amazing. Apollo Kids is good. The highly conceptual narrative story album, 12 Reasons to Die, is great too. That Bad Bad Not Good collaboration had its moments. The guy has such a rich an entertaining catalog that even when he drops something that is a bit off or kind of mediocre, it's still worth checking out. Like a Ghostface record is still something that's worth looking forward to. Plus, he's contributed some of the best songs and verses to the entire Wu-Tang catalog. The dude is incredible. I would put him in the S row as well. All right, next in the list, it's Raekwon the Chef, also highly beloved and respected member of the clan. And how could he not be? Because I feel like in so many ways, he exemplifies exactly the energy and the aesthetic that is truly Wu-Tang. His verses, his wordplay, his delivery are just all so consistently poetic and grimy. He's the perfect balance of rugged but also refined. And while his solo catalog may not be the best, Only Built for Cuban Links for many is arguably the best Wu-Tang solo album of all time, highly influential in the spheres of gangster rap and mafioso rap. And also, of course, like, who can forget Ghostface Killa's incredible contributions to that record, which is, also, big reason why it's good. But yeah, Raekwon is great. Raekwon is absolutely essential. Not my favorite member of all time, but one who I definitely hold in massively high regard. I'm putting him over in the A column. All right, next we have the GZA. His writing is arguably the headiest of the entire group, especially when they were in their prime. He's strategic, he's cunning, he's pulling chess moves. But he's also just as much a deadly force as anybody else in the group. Plus, on top of it, he too has one of the best solo albums of the entire group. I mean, it's unfortunate he wasn't able to capture that same magic since the release of that record, but that record is, I think, one of the best albums of any genre ever. So you have to kind of give it massive respect for that, and for that alone, I would very much put GZA in the A row. All right, getting close to the end here. Next, we have the Rebel INS, who is often not one of the most talked about or mentioned rappers in the Wu-Tang Clan, but I think within the overall hierarchy in terms of like what he was contributing directly to the group as a unit, he's often underrated. I think Inspectah Deck is an exciting addition to any Wu-Tang song. And on top of it, like, while his solo catalog may not be the best, a lot of those Czarface records he's done as of late are pretty good. There's some good ones in there. There's some good sick Czarface records in there. So yeah, I could put him in the B. I could put him in the B for sure. Unquestionably put him in the B. All right, next we have U-God, who, look, U-God's got some very good contributions on, the first couple of Wu-Tang records, but in comparison with everybody else, because, this is like a respective tier list. We're sort of tiering everybody out, not based on their greatness as rappers overall, but where they sort of fit in the overall Wu-Tang hierarchy. And U-God, in comparison with a lot of your average rappers out there, is in fact great. Like, you need to be operating at a high above average level to be hanging in this group to begin with. Look, I mean, one of my favorite opening lines from 36 Chambers is, "Raw, I'ma give it to you, with no trivia, just like cocaine straight from Bolivia." But obviously in the grander scheme of the group, U-God's presence isn't quite as felt. So it's kind of hard to rank him above anybody who I've thrown onto the list so far, so we can go see. And a lot of what I said about U-God could also be equally applied to Masta Killa as well, who again, on various Wu-Tang tracks does have standout moments, but was not nearly as dominant a force inside or outside of the group. And also, like U-God, he doesn't really have the solo catalog to kind of match up with anybody else in the group that I've ranked thus far too. So we could also put Masta Killa over in the C row. And I think that's going to be it. That's going to be the Wu-Tang member tier list. Let me know what you think of this. Over here next to my head is another video you can check out. Hit that up, or a link to subscribe to the channel. Anthony Fantano. Wu-Tang. Forever.